Good morning, kids. How are you?
Good.
And I prefer that you put your hood down, please. Okay, thank you. Okay, so did anything exciting happen this week?
No. No. Yes. Yes.
What?
I went to get. I did my school airplane thing.
Oh, okay.
I got a pumpkin.
SJ, did you get a pumpkin?
Yeah.
Cool.
I got to play my Switch.
Okay. Alistair?
My sister had her baton stage thing.
Oh.
You
Do you twirl the baton?
Yeah.
Cool. That is pretty neat. Okay, so we're going to start a lesson, and I want to tell you something that I think maybe you already know. Sin started in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
And then it spread to who? Their sons, Cain and Abel. You're right. And you know what happened after that?
What?
Sin just spread all over and for generations and generations and generations. And you know what? After a while, Josie, sit down, please. After a while, God looked at his creation, his world, and his people, and he was very disappointed in them. He was like, you know what? I'm so sad. I think I'm just going to start all over again.
No.
No? So he decided to destroy the whole earth and start over. Is that what happened?
No.
What happened?
The only good person was Noah.
Okay.
He asked Noah to make an ark with
Okay.
2 people,
Okay.
female and woman.
Okay.
Female and women are the same thing.
Female and male. Okay. So, even with God's judgment of saying he was going to destroy the earth, there was still salvation. Today we are going to hear a very familiar story which Christopher started to share with us about Noah and the flood. But sometimes when we listen to the story, we focus, can you focus?
That's
On
what I need to do.
The disastrous flood and not what's really behind it. Today when we listen to our story, I want us to focus on God's salvation for one man and his family, okay? So, and then we'll see how God's salvation of Noah points to our salvation through Jesus Christ. Okay, our big picture question is, what does it mean to sin?
Eat.
Yes?
It means to do something wrong to sin is to think, speak, or behave in any way that goes against God and his command.
Okay. Do you know that every single person has sinned? Did you know that? You sinned? Josie, you sinned? Kelly, sinned? Everybody has sinned. But you know what? It's not just about our behavior. Do you know that we can't, it's about what we think, what we speak, and our actions. So it's just not, oh yeah, I sinned. It's the way the things that you did. So can we save ourselves from sin? No?
Only Jesus can.
Okay, so Jesus is the one that saves us, right? So he saves us from our sinful thoughts, our sinful words, and our sinful actions. So God saved Noah from the flood, and God sent Jesus to save us from the destruction of our sin. So our sin is just as bad as the destruction of the world. Okay. So if we look at our pictures, can you tell us what we've been talking about from the very beginning? What's here? Alistair?
Sin.
Sin? Okay. Sin.
Yeah, basically.
Sin, okay. What was this story about? Abel.
Abel killed.
Cain killed Abel. You're right. Well, this is our story for today, and here is our ark. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the ark after we listen to our story.
Final sins.
What?
I said final sins.
Okay, now we're going to listen to our story, which is called God Spared Noah. And we are going to focus not on the flood and the destruction. We're going to focus on God's salvation for Noah and his family. Okay?
Was the Tower of Babel before Noah or after Noah?
After Noah.
So. Okay.
I haven't looked ahead, but I think you'll hit that yet.
Adam and Eve had many children and grandchildren. Their grandchildren had children and grandchildren, and people began to fill the earth. God looked at all the people on earth and saw that they were choosing to sin more and more. Every person's thoughts were evil. And God was sad that he made people. God decided to send a flood to destroy all the creatures on the earth. But God showed favor to a man named Noah. Noah was a righteous man. He followed God. God warned Noah about the flood. He told Noah to make an ark to save himself, his family, and all kinds of animals. God told Noah exactly how to make the ark, and he said that he would make an agreement, or covenant, with Noah and his family. Noah did everything that God commanded. When the ark was finished, Noah went inside with his family and the animals, and God shut the door. The rain started and water rose from the ground. Now the ark floated on top of the water. The water rose higher and higher until all of the mountains were covered. Everyone inside the ark was safe. Finally, after 40 days and 40 nights, the rain stopped and the water started to go down. Noah waited inside the ark until the ground was dry. Then God told Noah to bring all the people and animals out of the ark. So Noah did. Noah built an altar and gave an offering to the Lord. God promised to never completely flood the earth again. God told Noah and his family to spread out over the earth and fill it with people. God placed a rainbow in the sky as a special sign of the covenant that he made with Noah. Every time Noah and his family saw the rainbow, they would know God remembered his promise that he had made with all the living creatures on the earth. God rescued Noah and his family from the flood. The story of Noah points ahead to a greater rescue. God's Son, Jesus, the only perfect righteous one, came to take the punishment for our sin. By trusting in him, we are saved from the punishment our sin deserves.
Okay, now this story was found. How do we know about this story? Put your hood down, please, or I'm going to take your jacket off of you, okay? You're not a hood. You don't need to wear your hood around, okay? So, where did this story come from?
The Bible.
The Bible. If you want to read more about it, go to Genesis. Where do you find Genesis?
In the First Testament.
The first book of the Bible. And you're going to start at chapter 6, where there's a big 6, okay? So if you want to read more about it, you can have your parents read it to you, or maybe you have a book about Noah's Ark that you can read so you can remember.
I have a comic book.
Hmm?
I have a comic book.
You have a comic book. Okay, cool. Christopher?
One of them picture books, if you have
Picture books.
Mm-hmm.
I got toys.
Okay.
Well, I got.
Most of the time when people tell the story of Noah and the ark, they think of cute little songs and cute little pictures with animals sticking out of the ark. Something like this. Is that what you see in pictures, books, and stuff?
Well, I had that in my book.
Okay. Well, did you know this story is not about cute little animals and a cute little boat and cute little things? This is about sin. Sin was God punished them, the people, because of their sin. But he showed mercy to them, to Noah and his family. What is mercy? Do you know?
They gave him a chance.
Okay, gave you a chance. Good. Good.
To spread the holy gospel. And that's what he said after all of the animals went and covered them.
Okay. All right. Good.
They said to separate
Okay.
and teach the word of God.
Okay. Alistair, did you have something you were going to say?
Basically, what the story, basically what mercy is giving a second chance for being forgiven.
Okay. It is not getting the punishment that you deserved. Think about it. Not getting, the people were all sinning. Even though Noah was a righteous person, he was also a sinner. But he loved God and he followed him. So God gave him mercy. He should have been punished too, but he saved him. He saved him, and he didn't get the punishment he deserved. So, God was not Noah was not perfect. God, of course, was. Okay, no, this is something to remember. Now, listen carefully. Focus, focus, focus. Look at me. Okay. Noah didn't earn God's love by obeying. Okay? Noah obeyed God because he loved God. Okay, so you cannot get salvation by trying and earning it, doing good things. How do you get the salvation of Jesus Christ?
You
Alistair?
get baptized.
But what's before that?
Ask Jesus ask Jesus to be your Savior.
Mm-hmm. And Christopher, you said about being baptized. That's correct. You were baptized after you are saved. Josie?
This is a position in baton. Focus.
Okay, yeah, you got to focus, and when you do that, you're right. You're right. You need to focus.
In Taekwondo.
You need to focus in
Because
Taekwondo.
Because that's how I get my green stripe.
Okay. You need to focus in school. You need to focus on your teacher. Okay. So, what did Noah do after they left the ark? Josie? What did Noah do?
Do an offering.
They gave an offering, right. They came out after the land had all dried. They came out, built an altar, and offered an offering. Okay, next question. Put your hand down, please. What did God tell Noah and his family to do? Christopher, you already said this one time.
Build an ark.
Okay, no, they built after the ark. After they got off the ark, they built their altar and had their offering. What did?
He said to spread out
Mm-hmm.
and teach the word of God.
Mm-hmm. Right. They were supposed to scatter. His family was supposed to scatter all over the earth, and then have kids that have kids and have generations of people. Okay. Now, put your hand down. What promise did God make to Noah? Alistair?
You'll never flood the earth, and then but he didn't. They didn't also, when God told them to spread out, they didn't do it. They just stayed in one big bunch.
Okay. Okay, I think we'll probably hear more about that later. But okay, he promised not to flood the earth, the whole earth. Now we have floods. Did you ever see a flood or see pictures of a flood where there's a town like wiped out because of a flood? That's not all over the earth.
Well, I gotta tell you something.
Okay.
We went have something. It was very young
intend for us to remember his promise? What did God send? Rainbow, right, a rainbow. Okay, so when we see the rainbow in the sky, who do we think about?
God.
God. Okay. So the story of Noah points to ahead in the future of a greater rescue, a greater salvation. Who is our rescuer? God, Jesus. You're right.
The
it's
Holy
Jesus.
Spirit.
Right, okay, we get the Holy Spirit after we accept Jesus as our Savior. Okay, by trusting him, we are saved from the punishment that our sin deserves. So we got to remember to thank God for sending Jesus. Okay, now I want to just show you some pictures of the ark, and Jen, I'm going to sit down. Is that okay?
Yes. Where are you sitting, Pat?
Right in front of
Okay.
them. Okay, I want you to move your chairs around me. So, Eli, yeah, just like that. Eli, bring your chair here. That way you can. So, do you think this is what the real ark looked like?
No.
Do you think it was so full that the animals had to stick their heads out?
No.
No, I don't think so either. When it rained really hard, and I always thought, when I thought of Noah's Ark, I always thought, the rains came down and made the waters come up. But where?
Is that a baby? Probably.
I don't know what that is. So, but the waters came out of the ground. Most of the water. It rained for 40 days.
I know.
But the waters came out of the ground.
I know.
Do you know that? Well, I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so I'm going to show you some pictures. This is a book called The True Story of Noah. Okay? And it is a kid's book.
Oh, yay. Are we going to get one?
No.
Oh.
Okay. Here they are building the ark.
Is that
Does that look like that?
No.
No, I don't think so either. Do you know how many?
Besides the fact there's a crane there lifting boards, I think everything else.
What's wrong?
Besides the fact that there's a crane there lifting boards instead of them having to climb up the tower, the whole thing, I think it's pretty realistic.
Okay, let's talk about this crane. Don't you think they were smart enough to build things that could lift things if they were down here pulling on a rope to make it go up?
That's what I would more think.
Yeah, well that's what that is. That's just made out, it's not an engine, it's not a machine. It's something that they built with ropes that they could pull on the ropes to lift the wood up to where high it was supposed to be. Okay. So that's when they were building it. Now, do you know how long it took them to build this ark?
No. No, but I know about somewhere around 40 kilobytes big.
I think it took 100 years.
Oh, I forgot that it did take 100 years.
Okay. Now, here is a picture of the inside of what they think it looked like. Okay?
Yeah, that's what it looked like because we watched this, remember?
Okay.
I got to tell you something.
Yes, you can tell me something.
When I was watching TV,
Uh-huh.
and the guy said and then he didn't find them.
Oh my goodness. And look at this one. Look at the giraffes.
What?
Where are the giraffes?
Yeah. No, those are dinosaurs. Huh? They are? Yes. Yeah, they're not.
Yeah,
Those are.
they are. What?
Those
Don't
are
tell me there was dinosaurs in the
No.
ark.
Yes, there is.
Yes, there was. Yes.
There's
There's the giraffes. Now think how long a giraffe's neck is.
Why
Okay. So they had, what do you mean how did dinosaurs survive? Just like every other animal did.
So why did those dinosaurs live?
Hmm?
No. ark. They lived for a couple more years than
Also,
Okay,
unicorns.
so look how they made the different levels
Well, I'll tell you unicorns.
that the different sized animals would fit. Think of the giraffes.
Well, so he
So,
made it so
okay.
tall.
He made it so tall.
I'm ready to see the T-Rexes in there.
We're not going to see that, okay? Here is,
Oh, no.
those are animals right there. Here is when it started to rain, and look how big the ark is. It's not a boat, okay? Here it is in the rain.
Look at that. It's like
Yeah, it's animals. There's a lot of animals that didn't get on the ark that died. And people too. Because the water was everywhere.
The babies died.
So here's another picture of inside.
How would you go back to where
No.
where's he sleeping?
No.
He must be like, oh, I made
There,
all
look
these
at that.
years. Wow,
Wow.
she's
Yeah, that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at the ark. Look how big it is.
Yeah, no.
Okay? Now, I want to show you. No, that's not her.
Yeah, that's wash chair now.
Okay, let's look at this. This is a picture in scale of how big the ark was. Okay? Here's a football field. How many of you know how long a football field is? And look how much longer it is. It was huge.
It was bigger
It
than
was very, very tall. 45 feet.
Wow.
Wow.
That's bigger than the sides.
That means those two soccer
That's,
fields.
that's like the side of it, yes. That was 75 feet wide and 45 feet tall.
What's on that? What's on that side?
I'll show you them.
It was two soccer fields long.
Okay, could
Or
be.
slash basketball.
Okay, there's another picture of what it might have looked like.
I'm looking
Yeah,
at
that's
that.
great.
Alligators. Yeah, I get to see the back.
You want to see the back? Okay, this tells you the timeline. Almost 100 years to build it. After 7 days after it was built, 7 days the animals came in. It rained, the flood began for 40 days. The water covered all the earth for 110 days. The water starts to go down and it takes a long time. You know how the water goes down like in your bathtub or something? Or when it rains real heavy, you might have puddles, or if you have a creek close to you, it's high and it goes down. That's what, but it took that long.
74 days.
I don't know. I don't think
Just a
Can I tell you something? They forgot to add this on the story.
What?
He sent a devil out, and then the first
A
time.
dove out. Mhm.
Yeah, and then it didn't come. It came back
Mhm.
with nothing,
Mhm.
and then and then they went through a whole entire day, and then they slept, and then at the same time they sent another one out, and it found a branch.
Okay. Yes, it found a branch and it didn't come back. Then he knew that it was almost time to come out. Now, this took like a year that they were in that.
That's how it was alive that.
4 days and 40 nights. Then the rain stopped.
Yeah, it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, but until all the water came down and they could come out, the whole thing was about a year. Okay? That's a long time to be pent up in an ark or a boat, don't you think?
That's why they made New Year's, because that's what I think.
Oh, okay. What? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and here we have a new start with the rainbow.
I wonder if that ark thing is still there.
Okay, now, even though we see pictures
That's just what they think.
like this, would you get off my chair, little girl? Even though we see pictures like this is fine and this is cute, but we must remember that the ark was huge to begin with, and it had room for everybody. They weren't crowded like this. If you look, you can see there was rooms, and you know, some people say, well, how could the lions be next to the
Dinosaurs?
well, yeah, or the dinosaurs or something. Why didn't the lions eat this animal or something? Well, they each had their own pen. It looks like here, if this is correct, you know, and they had room. There was room for everything.
Plus,
Isn't that just amazing?
and plus they all fed them, so they didn't have really any reason to eat the sheep.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look, there's them up there.
Okay, so this is what I want you to remember. You know, God designed this perfectly, and He knew exactly how big it had to be. And do you know before this it never rained?
Yes.
It never rained, and He's telling Noah to build an ark that's huge. And don't you think Noah was like,
In the
I wonder why He's having me build this.
Until he told him that there
I
was a
think
big
it's-
flood.
I
Yes.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have known what a flood was.
Oh, that's true.
I think it's there to all the way out to the.
Oh, it's much, much bigger in this building.
So I meant
Okay,
to there
all right,
and all the
okay.
way all the way to the
Let's
other.
bow our heads and let's pray. Okay, and then you can go back to your class.
Maybe.
What?
Did you realize it was an ark? They were right there.
Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for the kids listening so well and focusing on your word. Help them remember that it was your perfect wisdom and guidance that built this ark to the exact measurements that it was supposed to be, and was just perfect for all the animals. We just thank you for this, Lord, and just help us remember how awesome you really are. Just be with us this week and bring us back next week to learn more about you. All this we ask in your name. Amen.